Hey, just wanted to let you know that there are less than 48 hours until the start of the masterclass, where I'm going to be breaking down this full system that I've used on this YouTube channel, making daily videos for the last 300 days. So far, I'm at an 80% win rate. And no, this is not going to be one of those webinars where, you're going to listen to me talk about my childhood stories and how I grew up and, whatever. It's no fluff, no BS. It's going to be 2 hours of just straight value. If you haven't signed up already, make sure you click the first link below. You have less than 2 days left to sign up, and then we're going to go live. But otherwise, let's get into the video. Right, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Unfortunately, the trade idea from yesterday ended up being a loss. So unfortunately, the trade idea from yesterday ended up being a loss. I was looking for a couple of trades. I was on, the VIP group trying to find a trade, but fortunately, it just did not play out. But that is also perfectly fine, because ultimately, me being wrong on a short call means that the market is pumping. And so far, this is going against the weekly bias that we had in mind. And yeah, let's try to break this down to see if, the bottom is in. Have we gotten some sort of reversal? And most importantly, I'm going to give you the intraday trade idea for today, just so, you can take advantage of this pump now that it's happening. Right, kicking things off on the weekly chart again, we have been looking for a bearish weekly bias. But so far, this is, kind of going the opposite direction at the moment, which, again, I'm really happy if I'm wrong on this, because that just means that the market is going to go up from here, which is amazing news. Now, let's go into the daily chart just to see what's going on. Even though we had a bullish daily close yesterday, it doesn't mean that in terms of the overall just higher time frame, we are already bullish. The reason for that is that at the moment, if you just take a look at the overall resistance that you have to run into, you have one right here, you have another one right here, and you have another one right here. That's just essentially a load of resistance that you need to overcome. But the first step to, potentially putting in some sort of bottom would be if you get a break above this level right here, which is $93,000. Once you get this, technically you could say that you are in a bullish change in state of delivery, or at least an early one. Now, if I had my pick, I would definitely say 95,500. Now, again, just because this level is hit does not guarantee that we are going to go up. You still need that higher low to get formed. That is where our opportunity is going to lie in terms of taking swing trades. If we get in there, it's very likely that we're going to be able to catch the bottom, or at least catch the moment before price starts reversing in earnest. But until that happens, I'm not going to be taking on swing longs just yet, even though in terms of the weekly chart, we are in a key level. Just so you understand the grand scheme of things at the moment, this is a bullish order block. Now, previously, every single time price finds some sort of major bottom throughout this entire bull run, it has been at a fair value gap. This is a fair value gap. And besides that, this is also a fair value gap. And if we do end up finding a bottom at this bullish order block, this will be kind of unprecedented. But still, it would be amazing news if this was indeed the bottom. But again, for reasons that I've already mentioned, you're overall still in bearish order flow, and that is not going to change until, at the very least, right? If you break above 95,500, that is going to be an early change in state of delivery. It is not confirmed change in state of delivery. So do not be tricked into thinking that, the market is already bullish. So far, we are still bearish, but does not change the fact that on the intraday basis, we can now start taking longs, because what we're doing on an intraday basis has nothing to do with the higher time frame overall trend and market structure and this and that. We are simply looking to take a high probability trade, get in and out within a couple of hours. So while stuff on the daily chart may be good to consider, it is not necessary for the purposes of an intraday trade. This is something that I feel like a lot of people tend to get confused about, which is the purpose of each time frame and what is the goal that they're trying to achieve. So often you hear stories about people who are scalping the markets and then they take into account the weekly chart. Like, the truth is, it's just way too far away and way too zoomed out to be of any sort of relevance. So going back into the daily chart, just understand that daily bias is bullish. And so now that we're on the 1 hourly chart, we are looking for PD arrays to support this daily bias. The first one is going to be at this order block starting from 91,300. In the event that you retrace back into this order block, you are going to look for a long. Secondly, you have this fair value gap right here, which in the event that this order block fails and you come into this fair value gap, you will also be looking for a long. Now, ideally, I do think that we want to look for this as the primary support, because in the event that you close beneath this level, this will completely invalidate this trade idea. That level being $91,000, basically. You do not want to see a 1 hourly close below this level, because that means you have a change in state of delivery and price today is going to be bearish. Now, if there's one thing that I want you to keep in mind today, is the fact that we do not have news. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, today is Thanksgiving. I don't Actually, let me double check this. Is today Thanksgiving? Sorry, this is the Asian in me. Like, I've never celebrated Thanksgiving. Yeah, today is in fact Thanksgiving. So this is a public holiday in the US, which is one of the biggest financial centers in the world. So there's not going to be any news today. And you know the drill when it comes to not having news. It means that the probability of trades playing out, even if everything lines up on the chart, it just lowers the probability if you do not have news for the day. Now, there are certain days where price is clean and you have news, and boom, like that's when we get the best trades that we have ever seen on this channel. So the fact that today isn't on news day, just beware. Even if everything lines up, you still want to be cautious. And the way that I would just approach this, the way that I would just approach today is to take into account the environment that I'm trading in, which is, well, it's a holiday. So whatever trades that I do decide to take, I'm just going to go half risk, and I need to ensure that everything from time to price is aligned before I get into any trades. But anyways, in talking about timing, the timing that we're going to be looking for today is anywhere between 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., which is just the New York kill zone. The reason being, today we don't have news. So in the event that you retrace into either one of these levels and you start seeing a 5-minute change in state of delivery towards the outside, that within that timing window, then yeah, go for it. I will, of course, be posting any live trades that I do take on X, so feel free to follow me there. Now let's get into Ethereum. Ethereum was bullish yesterday as well, but you have already filled in this favorite gap, and so far you are going up. But unlike Bitcoin, you do not have any sort of bullish order block at the moment. So I think the level for Ethereum is going to be pretty straightforward in the event that you retrace back into this favorite gap while sweeping out this low, or potentially even just sweeping out this low right here. Both are valid levels. So you're looking at 3015 as well as 3,000 basically. Or scenario number 2 is that you're going to get a break above this level right here. Closing above 3050 means that this is a 1 hourly bullish CISD, and you're going to look for price to go higher from that point onwards, but the bullish bias is clear. Now, of course, as usual, like just a fun fact, most of our losses on this channel has come on days where, you know, there are no news, and today's Thanksgiving. So don't be surprised if nothing ends up happening for today. Just be fully prepared that today's going to be a no trade day. With the public holiday, right? This is as low volatility that the market is ever going to get. So just be aware of that. Solana, you're going to be just looking for a sweep underneath these lows, filling in the fairly gap, and that is the trade idea for today. But anyways, to you guys who celebrate Thanksgiving, well, I've never celebrated any time in my life before. But to those of you who are celebrating, happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the final video before the big masterclass on Saturday. Cheers.